I'm Laura Pizzorno, and I'm here today to try to answer some questions that were submitted to me after we ran the first series of videos on bone health. This question was, and I'm only going to answer one question per video. Some of them really demanded a lot of information as a response, and so it's just too long to do them all at once. So if your question is not answered on this video, do not be faint of heart. It will appear on one of the next ones. So this question was sent in to me by, actually it's two questions, by a lovely gentleman whose wife has begun taking Strontium. And he wanted to know, he said, my wife wants to take the Strontium in the morning with her coffee. She puts about 3 tablespoons of half and half in her coffee. Will the half and half prevent the absorption of Strontium or compromise its effectiveness in any way? So that was his first question. So unfortunately, even though a tablespoon of half and half, the amount that's usually used in a cup of coffee, contains only 16 milligrams of calcium, certainly not much, but since it does contain calcium and strontium require the same pathways for absorption, and the calcium will always outcompete the strontium in this competition, your wife will receive the most benefit from taking her strontium a couple of hours before she consumes any calcium-containing food or supplement, including half and half. He also wanted to know, how long does it take for strontium to be absorbed into the system? How long after taking strontium would it be safe to eat or drink dairy products without them interfering with the absorption of the strontium? Well, it's best to wait at least an hour, but 2 hours would be optimal. The research that's been done has looked at how quickly strontium labeled in different foods, in other words, as part of the food matrix, was absorbed into the body. And the amount of time it took ranged from 60 to 120 minutes, in other words, 1 to 2 hours after the food was consumed. Since supplemental strontium does not have to be released from the food matrix, it should be absorbed more quickly than strontium found in food. But to get the most from your strontium supplement, I would suggest waiting 1.5 to 2 hours before consuming any calcium-rich foods. I hope this helps. Thanks for the great question.